I'm blind, and I didn't know someone followed me home until my front door wouldn't close. My front door is supposed to be the one place in the world I don't have to guess about. It's the final lock, the last threshold, the one solid thing between me and everything else. Or it was until last Friday. I live in a complex in Dublin, one of those assisted living places that feels more like a college dorm for adults who need a bit of a safety net. There's a reception desk, staff during the day, and a security guard, Declan, at night. The main gates get locked after 10. It's the kind of place you move into for peace of mind. I've always felt safe here, safe enough to leave my window cracked on a sticky summer night, listening to the city breathe itself to sleep. You have to understand, my world is built on sound, on touch, on patterns. I've been blind since birth, so the way I experience things is different. Concerts are my church. I can't see the stage, the lights, the spectacle, so I get the cheapest tickets I can find, right at the back usually. I don't need to see. I just need to feel the bass vibrating up through the floor, to hear the roar of the crowd become one single living thing. It's everything. So last Friday, I was coming home from a show at the Olympia. It was late, after 10. The taxi dropped me at the main gate like always. I fumbled for the intercom button to buzz Declan to open the pedestrian gate for me. I have a key, but the lock is an absolute bastard. It's old and stiff, and you have to jiggle the key just right, and half the time it feels like it's gonna snap off. No answer. 2 buzzes, just static. That usually means Declan is on one of his hourly patrols, walking the perimeter. The taxi driver, a sound fella, offered to wrestle with the lock for me. He got it open, I stepped through, and he passed the key back through the bars after locking it behind me. I was halfway across the courtyard, my cane tapping out the familiar path between parked cars, when Declan's voice cut through the quiet. Orlaith, sorry about that, was just doing the rounds. He sounded a bit out of breath. He's a good man, Declan. Smells of peppermint and has a gentle, rumbling voice. He guided me the rest of the way across the courtyard, his hand a light, reassuring weight on my elbow, and held the main building door open for me. The air inside shifted, cooler, smelling faintly of bleach and floor polish. He walked me through reception to the double doors that lead down the corridor to my flat. Normally, this is where he leaves me. He'll hold the door, say goodnight, and I'll walk the rest of the way myself. It's a straight shot, no obstacles. I'm behind locked gates in a secure building with cameras everywhere. What could possibly happen? I heard the heavy fire door swish shut behind me. My footsteps echoed in the long, empty hall. Tap, click, tap, click. The sound of my own independence. I found my door, number 14, slid the key into the lock, turned it. The familiar clunk of the mechanism. I pushed the door open, stepped inside, and reached back to close it. And it wouldn't close. It just stopped, about a foot open. My first thought was that the hinge was warped, or something had fallen against the frame. I sighed. Just what I needed. Another maintenance request to file. I gave the door a firmer push. It pushed back. It wasn't a hard shove. It was a soft, steady, silent pressure, like a tide. All the hairs on my arms stood up. My blood went cold. There was someone on the other side of my door, in the corridor. They had followed me from the lobby. They had stood there, in total silence, as I fumbled with my keys. Waiting. My heart hammered against my ribs. A whole slideshow of horrors played out in my head in a split second. A hand over my mouth, the cold shock of a knife, the violation. I'm a small woman. I wouldn't stand a chance. Panic took over. I threw my entire body weight against the door, all 110 pounds of me. The wood groaned, but the person on the other side was stronger. They pushed back, an unrelenting living force. We were locked in this bizarre, silent battle. A tug of war with my front door, with my life on the line. I could feel the vibrations through the wood, the sheer physical presence of them just inches away. I don't know where the voice came from, but a raw, ragged sound ripped out of my throat. "What do you want?" The second the words left my mouth, the pressure vanished, completely. The door flew from my hands and slammed shut with a crack that echoed in the sudden silence. I scrambled for the deadbolt, my fingers shaking so badly it took me 3 tries to turn it. The solid thunk of the bolt sliding home was the most beautiful sound I had ever heard. I just stood there, my back pressed against the wall, my chest heaving, trying to make sense of it. Did that really just happen? How did I not hear them? Not a single footstep, not a breath, not the rustle of a jacket. Nothing. My ears are my eyes, and they had failed me completely. Should I call Declan? But a worm of doubt squirmed in my gut. What if it was him? What if he tampered with the cameras? Who would they believe? The security guard, or the blind girl, who was maybe just tired and confused. I didn't have any proof, just a door that pushed back. I spent the rest of the night on my sofa, listening to every creak and groan of the building, jumping at the hum of the refrigerator. Sleep was impossible. By Saturday afternoon, the fear had curdled into a cold, hard knot in my stomach. I couldn't just let it go. I sent a long, rambling voice message to my key worker, Ms. Byrne, explaining everything that had happened. I knew she wouldn't get it until Monday, but just sending it felt like I'd done something. I had another concert on Sunday. Going felt insane, but staying home felt like letting them win. Coming back that night was torture. Every step down that hallway felt a mile long, but the door opened and closed without a problem. It felt normal, and that was almost scarier. Ms. Byrne got my message on Monday and called me back Tuesday morning. Her voice was tight, professional. "Orlaith, can you come to my office? The building manager and I would like to speak with you." I sat in a chair that smelled of stale coffee and anxiety, twisting my hands in my lap. The building manager, a man I'd never met, cleared his throat. "We reviewed the security footage from Friday night," he said. His voice was flat, but there was an edge to it. "Declan did exactly as you said. He went the opposite direction to finish his patrol, but someone else was in the corridor. Someone was following you." I felt a wave of nausea. "You saw them?" "We did," Ms. Burns said, her voice softer now. "The camera angle at the end of the hall doesn't quite reach your door. We can't see the struggle. But we see him. We see him run." The manager spoke again. "We can't tell you who it is yet. Data protection laws. But the guard I have been contacted. They'll be here this afternoon to take your statement." He paused, and when he spoke again, his voice was lower. "We don't think his motive was sexual, Orlaith. We think he was looking for cash. An easy target." An easy target. The words hung in the air, ugly and sharp. Of course I said I wanted to press charges. I wanted his face known. I wanted every person in this building to be safe from him. Ms. Byrne offered to have Declan, or whoever was on duty, walk me right to my door from now on. Wait until they hear the bolt lock. I agreed immediately. My little walk of independence was over. The Gardai came. They were kind, patient. They listened to my story, nodding. Then they told me what they found. My would-be attacker is 14 years old. He lives in the building, with his parents. 3 doors down, with his parents. 3 doors down. They told me I could still press charges, but for a minor, it would just mean a formal warning, a slap on the wrist, nothing more. His record would stay clean. I pictured his parents. Would they be angry, embarrassed, or would they be the type to make my life a living hell? To whisper about me in the hallways, to let their son's friends know which door was mine. I dropped the charges. I hope the police put the fear of God into him. I really do. But my feeling of safety here is gone. It was stolen in that silent, terrifying struggle at my own front door. Now, every time I walk down my hallway, I listen. I listen for the soft scuff of the trainer on the floor, for the whisper of a jacket, for the presence of someone who shouldn't be there. Declan walks me to my door every night, a kind and constant reminder that I am no longer safe on my own. So, to the boy in 3B. We didn't meet that night, not properly, but I know you're there. And the worst part, the part that keeps me awake at night, is knowing that sooner or later, in the lift or in the laundry room, we're going to meet again.